Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ratchet and Clank 1. So I'm going to repeat a couple of things here because we just had to start the VOD over about 2 hours later because I just spent literally an hour and 7 minutes, yes, I counted, trying to buy the PS3 Ratchet and Clank games. Now, I succeeded, I think. I have to stress that word. I haven't tested anything yet. It's currently downloading. If you notice there's something weird in the far upper right corner, that's the download. That's going to be going quite possibly all day, and that's just the first game. So I'm going to very, very, very slow-modely be grabbing those games in order to have them and make sure that they're installed and make sure they work and all that fun stuff. But for now, right, first thing I got to do before I say my thank yous is I got to filter out people. So I prefer the PS4, the movie game, to the game we're about to play. No, it's not actually a bit. I really do. Because both games have terrible story, but the PS4 version has better gameplay. So there you go. But for those of you who didn't filter out, I do want to say that one of the things that we're not doing is we're not playing the PS3 version, the version of the game that I own. We're actually playing the PS2 version. We were going to play the PS3 version, and some people were like, no! And I was like, why? And they were like, because it sucks! I'm like, okay, well, I can accept that. When these were added, they didn't specify version, so at that point, it doesn't really matter which version we play. So now I will go ahead and say thank you and shoutouts to Two Minuets, Bella Calic, David Lazala, Doom Rider, Drakaji, Ect Klug, I always stumble over that, Game Geek, Hardboiled, Monobrent, Nameless Baron, Nix Katoon, Offshore Twitch Account, Primarch the Mage, Scruffy Looking, Theodore Caesar Mosby, Tiny Hippo, person who added this game to the list, which is Linkelda, and the people who are our majority shareholders. We actually have several here, including Ciela, Lord Harrimont, and Dark Prince Revan. Thank you, all of you, very, very much for keeping the lights on and for making it tolerable to deal with an hour and 7 minutes of nonsense. So, I do love graphical issues. Yeah, we were talking about port issues because we were just recently talking about Silent Hill 2R. And someone in chat made a casual comment about how we need less remasters. And I disagreed completely, because what we need is good remasters. There's actually quite a few games that could really use a solid remaster, or in some cases remake, in order to bring a good idea or something that's historically significant forward. Because the problem is, we have too many examples of bad remasters. You know, like this one. And I think this is I do legitimately think that the issue that people have, and the reason why people are so anti-remastered, is because of crap like this, or the Silent Hill HD collection, which we recently were talking about, thanks to Silent Hill 2. So, yeah, actually good remasters. You know, we had Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario 2 just last year. Star Ocean 2 got one. That was the other one I was thinking of. Star Ocean 2 got one. Oblivion just got one, which is pretty solid. You know, good remasters. Yes, awesome. But moving right along, let's go ahead and play Ratchet and Clank 1, the game of the suck. I do want to say one thing really, really quick before I go any further. So I actually covered this game for Rumination, and for those of you who don't know what that means I remember almost nothing about the game, because every time I would do Rumination, one of the reasons we canceled those is because they were very bad for my health, and I would just absolutely crank and crush through a game as fast as humanly possible, jot down my notes, sit down, record, and then forget everything, just flush it out. I've actually proven several times that I don't remember plot points, I don't remember levels or stages of games that I have played because I played them for rooms, which is actually quite disturbing for someone like me because I have a really, really good memory. I remember things from when I was 5. So, I don't remember much about this version, just in amusement and contrast to what I just said earlier about preferring the movie version. But I do remember one thing, and that's that Ratchet was a dick, and I hated him the entire playthrough. Also, sorry, right, I actually already mentioned this. Fun fact, this game didn't have a writer. It was written by the lead animator. Oh, God, I wrote this down, and then I got rid of it because I didn't need it anymore. It's like the lead animation director and the lead rigger were the people who actually wrote this game. Yeah, it was the animator team and the rigging team, and in both cases, it really, really shows. In fact, apparently the second game was that way too. They did actually hire a writer for the third game, and I'm told that the story gets a lot better from 3 and onwards. Yeah, I hear that all the time, Huthor. we'll see how much I agree, because the big, like, one of the biggest reasons why I remember disliking Ratchet was because of how many comments I got that were saying, "Oh man, I love Ratchet's arc," and I'm like, but there's no arc. Someone hits a switch at some point. Like, you remember when he was a total dick to Clank because Clank strong-armed him into doing the right thing? You remember that? I remember that. He's just an asshole. Yeah, everyone just kind of glazes over that part. Having said that, I know why this game is definitively the inferior experience for Ratchet and Clank. It's because it has no James Arnold Taylor. Anyways. Something I always have to remind people. He's actually a good actor. And I tend to like him in pretty much everything. I think I've only ever disliked James Arnold Taylor's voice acting once, and you know the exception. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. Whatever. Yeah. FF10. Sure. That one. Okay. Kaisel Plateau, Planet Velda. See, that I agree with, Uthor.
Final step, attach robotic ignition system. Thank you for using help desk technology.
Meanwhile, a cutscene that's going to get a negative. In fact, I think it actually already has. I commented on this last time, but since we just hit record again, this whole sequence is a great example of how you can tell the animators wrote it, because it doesn't really make any logical sense. It's just there to be the animation. They were just thinking about storyboarding. Agreed, Huthor. No problem whatsoever. Negative to story. Like that, right there. Enough said. Meanwhile, again, for example, I'm not going to ding the fact that this looks like crap. This is a 2002 game, after all. Weirdly enough, Don, no. Alright, let's see how this handles, because I just played the PS3 version, so I can directly compare. That is instantly better. That is funny how much better that is. That is hysterical. What in God's name? So, the PS3 version was weirdly... floaty is the word I like to use, but it's not really accurate. Imagine if the controls are just kind of stuck in jam. You know what I mean? So, no would be the answer. I could turn down the music even further, so let's go and do that. But yeah, like the... Here, turn subtitles on, speaking of which. So, like, it's... You do something, and then you do something. And then you do something, and then you do something. And it's just... It's hard to put into words if you don't understand the programming behind it, which I don't in this case. I'm more familiar with other types of programming. But I bet you someone much smarter and more capable than me could tell you exactly why the controls just sucked. And it really was an immediate thing. You saw me. You saw me this morning, for those of you who watched me live. Like, it was just this instantaneous, ugh. Took me about 5 seconds to be like, whoa, hold up, what am I doing wrong? Also, the controls are currently not reversed, which naturally is why they're listed as normal, as opposed to reversed, which they are, which is normal? That's a minor thing. I'm not going to ding the game for that, but like that confused the hell out of me. Oh shoot, I got to fix that to double invert. Nope. Get all our bolts. We need, what is it, 20,000? I mean, there's like the 100-something thousand, but we're not getting that. The print work is so weird. Like, it's colorful without being colorful.
You can interrupt help desk messages by pressing the triangle button. To disable help desk messages, please select options from your pause menu.
I do like the homing on getting bolts, by the way.
Gadgetron's OmniWrench 8000 includes a new card style feature. To activate it, use the R1 button to crouch, and then press the square button.
I was actually thinking earlier, I kind of wish PS3 emulation was in a better state. I don't blame it for being so terrible. For those of you not aware, and we've talked about this before, because we've actually covered quite a few PS3 games at this point. PS3's architecture is garbage. It might actually be the worst under-the-hood console out there, with the only possible exception being the Xbox 360. Funny timing, that. But seriously, the PS3 is, like, anybody who's ever looked into it, developing on the PS3 was such a nightmare because of how much it wasn't designed to be a good PS3 game. Yeah, the N64, we didn't have good emulation for the N64 until, I want to say, like 5 or 6 years ago, because of how much effort it was in order to try and get that crap even working.
That's nanotech. Whenever you sustain injury, let Gadgetron's patented nanotech system rebuild your body from the inside out.
Kidding there, right? As you can see, we're just playing Dark Souls. Rolling through the crates. Or, from what I'm told, Dragon Age 4. Yeah, I thought the Red Wing was like a heating issue because it was not designed by engineers, and so it had overheating issues, something like that. You know, technically we're establishing precedence here. It is very technically.
Press the circle button to equip it, and the circle button again to fire it. You can also use it in first person by holding down the L1 button.
So, sorry to finish my sentence briefly there. Also, we're obviously doing a wrench-only run, clearly. Yeah. No, of course not. Like, we already have several racing games on the books. We've technically reviewed one. Back in the day, we recovered, reviewed, and covered Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. The reason I bring that up right now is because we actually talked about viscerality in design when it came to being satisfying with regards to picking up bananas. I know that sounds strange, but if you ever played the Donkey Kong series, you know what I'm talking about. Even though such a concept was actually started by Mario, the Donkey Kong series always did a little bit better about it. And it was worthy enough of a positive, so we went ahead and we jotted that down for a positive. Of course, those are old, out-of-date reviews, but now that we're here, we can reestablish that concept as a positive in this game.
Interesting.
Guy!
You're quite handy with your wrench.
You bet. I built that ship with it.
Currently, I'm in search of someone who could be of assistance in saving the solar system. Do you know where I might find that fellow?
Well, he's on the radio every week. Other than that, no. Hey, what's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
Hello, citizens of... My race, the Blog, have a small problem. Our planet has become so polluted, overpopulated, and poisonous that we are no longer able to dwell here. But I, Chairman Drek, have a solution. We are constructing a pristine new world using the choicest planetary components available. So, what does this mean to you, you might ask? Using highly sophisticated technology, which you couldn't possibly understand, we will be extracting a large portion of your planet and adding it to our new one. Unfortunately, this change in mass will cause your planet to spin out of control and drift into the sun, where it will explode into a flaming ball of gas. But, of course, sacrifices must be made. Thank you for your cooperation.
Cut!
And if you don't like it, you can take your whiny, sniveling, snot-nosed populations, form a line behind me, and kiss my... We're still on? Well, turn it off, you idiot!
The people on those planets are hosed. Well, good luck getting Captain Quark to help you.
Actually, you could help me. If you could use your ship to take me to the coordinates contained in this infobot, I might be able to gather further information there.
Even if I wanted to, I can't. I'm missing a crucial component of the ship.
The robotic ignition system.
How did you know that?
I, sir, happen to be equipped with the latest in robotic ignition systems. My programming allows me to start any ship I choose.
So, I agree to take you to this, wherever it is, and you get my ship started for me?
That is what I'm proposing.
Deal.
Don't worry, no one would be that evil in real life. Don't be ridiculous.
This could be a problem. Take care of it.
Wonder who that
this
strange,
is
shadowy person
great.
could have been.
So that's where I've been stuck this whole time.
Please return your appendages to the steering mechanism, sir.
Huh? Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, you can stop calling me sir. The name's Ratchet.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, sir.
You got a name?
My serial number is V54296.
Oops. I'll just call you Clank for short. Hang on.
Yeah, I noticed the subtitles don't always show up, and I've also noticed they're wrong several times.
So you see, it would be most beneficial if your citizens were not in the city when my workers begin removing it.
Preposterous! I will not stand for this.
Unfortunately, you have no choice in the matter.
Let's just see what Captain Quark has to say about that, my good man. I don't see what's so funny. Captain Quark could dispatch you without even breaking a sweat, you puny...
You have now officially worn out your welcome and my patience.
This is your last chance. Stop this madness now!
Okay, wait. You're right. I will withdraw my troops.
Really?
No! He's all yours, gentlemen. Try not to leave any marks.
Yeah, of course, the Bruiser has a cigar. And yeah, the animation looks all custom, not mocap, the other one.
Clank? Where are you? Oh, sorry about that. Well, we're not leaving the way we came in.
Perhaps we could procure a ship from one of the inhabitants.
If there are any left.
Oh, that's gonna bother me. What is that called? It's the type of animation I do all the time with the rewrites and stuff. Keyframe. Keyframe animation. In other words, set this animation at this frame, set this animation at this frame, stuff like that. So I need to look something up. Forgive us, please. That is Kevin Michael Richardson. I thought so. The voice of Drek. You're probably thinking, who's Kevin Michael Richardson? You've probably never heard of him, but you have 100% heard him before. He's everywhere. He usually voices semi-side characters like Chairman Drek. He's all over the place. Yeah, he's one of those career voice actors, specifically voice actors. So animation, movies, games, that kind of thing. In fact, actually, as a curiosity here. See if there's any other games you might recognize. Sorry, just if you'll forgive me. Yeah, kind of like Tara Strong. She got in pretty ground floor too. And so did he. He's been doing voice acting since '92. So here we go. Video games? Nope, that's still animation. God, he's done so much animation. Here we go. Video games. He was in Fallout 2. It's one of his earlier game roles. He is Sarevok in Baldur's Gate. A whole bunch of stuff in the Episode 1 game. Fleet Command for Star Trek. Force Commander. Bunch of stuff. God, he's absolutely all over the place here. Sarevok again. Baldur's Gate 2. He was the video game voice of Benjamin Sisko for a while there. And Boss Nass in a lot of the Star Wars games. Let's see. Scott Dolph in Metal Gear Solid 2. I don't recognize who that is. Bunch of Star Wars stuff. I'm just going to skip over all of this. Ratchet and Clank, of course. He was in Freelancer, apparently. Okay, here we go. I knew there was something you'd probably recognize him. The thing you would probably most recognize him in amongst my audience is he played Jolie Bindo from KOTOR 1. He's been a bunch of other stuff, but that's probably the big one. He's also the voice of Sebastian for the Kingdom Hearts series. He apparently voiced Blaze in Heroes of the Storm. I didn't know that. He's also the recent voice of Shredder in several of the recent TMNT games. I didn't know that one either. Anyway, sorry. Point being, he's cool. If anyone's getting a voice acting positive, it might be him. We'll jot down a maybe. We'll put down a maybe. Fired up, as they say. Controls. There we go. Hey, okay. I do like how we're immediately and visually in a different area. Bit more green, bit more blue. Slamming. I was gonna say, I didn't recognize any of the other voice actors when I was glancing at the list there. Brickwork. Here we go. Now, I've already jotted down a potential for music. What's the name of the planet I'm on right now? Hang on. This is the crash I mentioned earlier, isn't it? Yeah, so you remember how I mentioned that there was no writer for this game, really? Yeah, Novalis. That's what I thought. Well, why do we crash here? Why does our ship crash here? The answer, and this is not me presuming this, they actually have said this in interviews. The answer is they didn't want the player to go back to Veldin, so they have you crash so you lose your ship. Yeah, it's because plot. Story sequencing is what you usually put that under. Okay, so what do we got?
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Oh yeah, animation. I wanted to jot down an animation positive. Surprisingly good animations. How do I scroll? Is there a scroll?
Oh, that's a nice one.
Well, I don't have enough bolts anyways. So just bow out of that. I should also jot down a potential positive for world building. We'll think about it. I don't have enough bolts. What do you want from me? Okay. So down or cave? Well, my knee-jerk thought is cave, so cave it shall be. That's a good question. We should test fall damage. I'm not gonna lie, the jumping doesn't feel super great. It is very Kingdom Hearts 1-y. Oh, hey.
Hello.
Explore the waterworks. Find a new ship. I do like replayable cutscenes. That's actually extraordinarily rare in gaming. Usually we put that under mission log, because usually you just get like a text dump of, here's what you've already seen. And yeah, I noticed the cutscenes were skippable when I was doing testing. Although that was on the PS3 version, I guess I should double check that. So remind me to check next time we have a cutscene, see if they're skippable. I mean, again, this predates Kingdom Hearts 1. Not by much, but by, you know, a few months. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Ah! We got this. I mean, of course, StarCraft 2 has good game design. It's StarCraft 2. Okay. Yeah, I noticed there's no real penalty for failure, which is a good tutorial thing. There's reward for managing some of the jumps in the form of bolts and progression. But if I fall, I just fall into water. And as you pointed out earlier, those fans don't actually do damage. Oh, Jesus. StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 didn't break the system by being bad. Are you sure, Darkrai? Oh, hang on. I've already gotten conflicting reports, so let's just freeze the stream. Go Google it myself. So, Ratchet and Clank came out in November. Okay. Kingdom Hearts 1 came out in March. Wow, you were actually correct. Never mind. They clearly played Kingdom Hearts 1 and were like, hold up. One problem with Kingdom Hearts 1. We're going to fix it. By golly. Yeah, they got to the Riku fight and were like, oh my god, kill me. And Riku was like, gladly. And they were like, wait, no, stop it a minute. Okay. Is there a make my vacuum bigger option? Upgrade, maybe.
Dad blast it!
Look, plumber's crack.
What did you just say?
But he has overalls on.
The plumber's back.
All right, wise guy. Shouldn't you be on one of them escape transports?
Oh, yeah.
Escape transports.
I skip?
Newsflash, giant robots attacking. The escape transports
I
are
cannot
taking
skip.
all the rich folks off this god-darn planet.
So why aren't you on one?
Socioeconomic disparity.
What?
He hasn't got enough bolts.
Working people have to wait for Captain Quark to save us.
Well, got anything worth a lot of bolts?
I got this thing. Shows two weirdos ditching their ship. It's got coordinates to a desert planet, too.
An infobot. Ratchet, we could use that.
Only 500 bolts. I can afford that. Yeah, I tried every button. No skipping allowed. Might be Siphon. I don't know. They don't really tend to list voice actors for NPCs, which irritates the hell out of me.
To enter look-around mode, press and hold the L1 button.
That's a shame, but whatever. Something else that the creators have talked about in interviews, because I was reading a few interviews before getting into this, is how much they hated the humor of this game. Aw.
Geronimo!
Did he just slide down a sewer pipe?
Mayday, mayday! This is the solar ship Radical. We seem to be under attack from the planet's surface.
Relax, kid. It looks like some sort of fireworks display. Probably in your honor.
Whoa! That was close! Ah!
Pipe down, I can't concentrate.
Oh, we've been hit!
An unexpected detour. When we land, I'll see if I can scare up an exhibition for you.
We're not gonna live that long!
Kid, let's M-screen!
Eject! Eject!
Did you see that guy on the left? That was Skid McMarks.
Does he know Captain Quark?
I doubt it. He's a pro hoverboarder, always going off about how cool he is.
Looks like he's in trouble.
I'll say, I've never seen him look so freaked out.
Gadgetron infobots give you coordinates for new planets. Now that you have the infobot for planet Iridia, you'll need to find a ship to get there.
So I'm going to come down pretty hard on this game. I just want to be really honest about that. Like, if that's something you don't want to watch, then stop watching the stream. But this game, unironically, has better voice acting than Dishonored 2 did. I mean that. That's not trying to do like a mic drop or anything like that. That is just how that is. Positive number 2 act. So someone's not reading the document. Hang on. I actually am Chairman Drek, sorry. If you wonder why the world is in such a bad shape, that's me. On the plus side, shareholder value has never been higher. Wait, that's not true either. I was going to say, that, yeah, Spyro, the original, Spyro, did actually have voice acting, didn't it? I ask in ignorance, because I've only played the remaster. So you apparently are right, Primarch. Here's our third path. Holy shit.
Press the square button to dive and the X button to rise. Push the X button harder to rise more quickly.
now we have a combat sequence. We had a platforming sequence. These guys are obviously going to be extremely easy to deal with. That's why I immediately get hit by them. I should probably be using my bombs. Figure out how that works. Oh my god. Look, I liked FF16 way more than I thought I would, but Jesus Christ. Hang on, open a door. What? Okay. Nope, nope, hang on. Nope, go back. Okay, keep holding the button. Okay. Hold the button. Hold it. Hold it. Okay. Okay. Also destructible terrain, which I didn't know was a thing, and the game, honestly, pretty neatly tutorialized by having crates right next to stuff that can be destroyed. Nice. Here's a question right up front. How many of you think this is going to end up being a Squadrons game? Oh god, that... Okay, we'll see. I have no idea. Like I said, the only thing I remember is Ratchet wanting to smack him. A Squadrons game is a game where it's honestly better to just completely skip the story because it's a universally detriment to the game. But the gameplay is really good and honestly worth playing just for the gameplay. It's actually pretty rare. We don't encounter a lot of Squadrons games. Yeah, great gameplay but terrible story is more unusual than you'd think, because most games that have great gameplay either also have great story or have effectively no story. You know? Like Dishonored 2. And of course, Star Wars Squadrons, which is the thing that gave us the name for it. So it's actually 3 paths. Hang on, real quick. How we looking here? How we doing up here? How's our download? Oh yeah, look at that. We're up to, what is that? 18%. Hell yeah. All right, back in the corner. Sure, Primarch. I did turn around on purpose because I thought we were done. Yeah, the PS3 gets to be in the corner of shame, where it belongs. Oh, so there is schooling in here. That even makes sense considering they just gave us a water tutorial. Listen, I gotta earn my game reviewer badge by being terrible at video games. It's a rule. So, should we buy the pyro thing, or should we just save up? Let's see. Buy every weapon. I have cheats for this game, right? So let's see if we can do this underwater. Kill me, Ross. Kill me. Let's see. Man. Well, that did nothing. You lied to me, Primarch. Alright, everyone take Primarch out back and take care of him. No. I'm not going to hold any of that against the game. But I am vetoing PS3 games forever. I could say I'm doing it out of spite, but no, if anything, I have been entirely too lenient about allowing PS3 games up until now. Oh, I see it, I think. Yeah. Look, I went out of my way to get the goddamn PS3 Ratchet and Clank games. You're welcome. By the way, those still haven't been added to the list. Don't do it, by the way. Don't actually add them to the list. I know what you're saying. Why? Do me a favor. Wait until I have them all downloaded, installed, and playable. I want to do some hardware and tech tests before I actually allow them. So don't add them till like tomorrow or whenever however long it takes for that stupid download to finish. Remember, that's only one of the games. Yes, I did, Doom Rider. My apologies, I'm kind of out of sorts. Now, you want to see Spiteful. Fuck Hogwarts Legacy. Alright, so. Let's see here. I will put that towards... Dragon Age 4, Final Fantasy 13, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Which, by the way, apparently has New Game Plus, but not the kind of New Game Plus that I actually like. So a lot of stuff carries over, right? But it does the Dark Souls thing, where it ups the difficulty. So the tutorial level has endgame stuff, endgame difficulty in terms of enemy design, which is a very strange way to do it. So, hang on. Yeah, FF13 is on PC. What's funny is, as of this moment in my life, I've actually played FF13 on the PC more than I have on the PS3. Which is just weird to think about. Okay, so hang on. So, Ect, I need to jot this down. Because Rax also donated. I'm just going to jot these down so I don't lose them. So, Rax donated, Ect donated 3 times? Yes. So we're just gonna do that really quick. There, so 3 Ect donations, 1 Rax donations. I'm gonna say thank you right now. Thank you, all of you. Very, very much. Oh, and you actually want to adjust some of those, so I'll go ahead and push those up here, and that'll go towards RNC2, which is going commando. Thank you. RNC3. Oh, I figured you were holding on to it, Rax, to add one of the new ones. RNC3, which is up your arsenal. And RNC4, which is deadlocked. And Rax is putting it towards Claire Obscure Expedition. You know, I'm just going to start writing Expedition 33. Easier. Let's see. And then RNC2, which is going commando. RNC 3, which was up your arsenal. By the way, part of the reason I insist on getting the subtitles each time, it makes it way easier to search on the spreadsheet. Way easier. So I try to have the subtitles each time in the text document to make it easier to transition over into the spreadsheet, if you're wondering. Okay. What am I doing? Hell yeah, let's play the PS3 port of... Real quick, what's like the worst PS3 port out there? Like, off the top of my head, it'd probably be the Silent Hill collection. So there's our loop 2. I like much. I wish to buy. Cool. Okay. How do I... Nope. There we go. Okay. Let's see if there's fall damage. There is... Well, that wasn't fall damage at the very least. That's nice. Oh, so it adjusts the ammo you get to whatever you have equipped? Can you play with that? Like, if I want ammo for something else, can I switch to it? And then switch back to whatever I'm using?
To use the pulse, hold down the circle button.
I'm also about to die. Oh no! Here's what happens when I die. God. If it's auto ammo, that's even nicer. That's Mega Man 6 at that point. Yes, it took until the 6th Mega Man game for them to invent that. Shut up. Alright, let's try to die really quick. Wait, hang on. Hang on. There we go. Okay, now let's die. Oh, shoot me. I want you to do it. I want you to do it. Okay. Did I lose anything? Or did I just go back to the checkpoint? Looks like stuff respawned. Oh, I should have checked my bolt. Hang on. 1,173. Where do I check my bolts without actually pulling them up? For God's sakes. Okay, there it is. So yeah, nope, looks like we keep our bolts. Nice. Good to know. All the robots everywhere. Yeah. The question will be, how good are the checkpoints? Yeah, actually, I'm more impressed than I thought I'd be with the brickwork. No offense to literally everyone, but PS2 games usually don't impress me on brickwork. In general. PS2 games were one of those eras when they were trying really hard for textures, but the PS2 can't really handle textures. So you just wander through an array of blur. Now, yes, I know later PS2 games got better about that, but you know what I'm talking about, that. Really, Darkrai? Wow. Well, yeah, like, that's actually a good example, President Clamp. Think about God of War 1. Like, really think about how God of War 1 looked for a second. Now think about God of War 2. Like, even that just relatively small shift is a huge night and day change in just visual quality. Let's see. I hope Tomato Anus actually has a run of this, because that'd be nice. That's fine off the deep print. Frustrating, but there it is. Yeah, God of War 2 scored extremely well, and deserved to. It is still a damn good game. I was gonna write something down. Right, quality of life. Actually, I noticed that already, Rax. Back on Ratchet, of all things. Or Clank, sorry. Clank, of all things. Just... I need to look up what the hell happened with Fuse someday. In fact, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make a note to do that right now, because I'm really curious now. There it is. Okay. I'll look that up later. It came out. That was its biggest mistake. Good morning, Evo. What do you think of the visuals? Alright, phew. I got the question in before she did. I think it's the first time I've ever gotten the question in before she did. Published by EA. I mean, wasn't... correct me if I'm wrong here. Wasn't the Spyro remaster published by EA? Or was that Activision? I really don't remember. I'm actually asking. Uh-oh. I mean, it is a PS2 game, you know. This is our life. You think Silent Hill 2 was bad? What?
Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Oh, what are you? Mercenaries? Torturers? Assassins? I'll tell you anything. Here, take my infobot. It's all I've got left.
Sir, we're not assassins.
Hold on. Let's see what he's got.
Pacing of these cutscenes is insane.
Has this ever happened to you? Hi, I'm Captain Quark, and believe me, there's nothing worse than staring down a Blargian Snagglebeast from the inside and knowing your equipment isn't functioning properly. That's why I come to Al's Robo Shack for all my electronic needs. Al has been the exclusive repair shop for my super electro gadgets since I was knee-high to a sand mouse. If Al can't fix it, it's not broke. Right, Al? You said it, pal. So if you're fighting crime, or just fighting grime, come to Al's Robo Shack in Metropolis for all your robotic repairs. Al's Robo Shack, it's Quarktastic!
Do you know what this means?
Yeah, Captain Quark is really sold out.
No, it means Captain Quark is on Metropolis. We could tell him about this invasion.
If we had a ship.
What? A ship? What? You're not going to torture me? Well, the
Short to torture.
Chairman and I could arrange for you to borrow our courier ship.
Cool.
You can count on us, sir.
Right. Thank you, your chairman shipliness.
Now that you have coordinates to 2 new planets, you can use your ship.
Oh, that
Press the
sucks,
select
X.
button to bring up the map. Your ship is marked.
That
with
always
stars.
sucks, but that sucks more than usual. Okay. Oh. Someone actually asked about this with Silent Hill 2, but to repeat myself, the fact that this is a PS2 game does not mean I'm going to ding it for, like, blurriness or anything like that. I don't enjoy the blur, I'm not going to lie to you. But the game doesn't get detriments for something that it's literally a hardware requirement at the time, right? Now, there's a couple of gray areas when it comes to that, but the general rule is we don't ding a game for something that it literally couldn't do. Yeah, exactly. It's a 480p game. The end. More shortcutting. I really like the shortcut design so far. Actually, no. A lot of people consider Bloom worse than Blur, but I just like Blur more personally. I want to explain that really quickly, because every now and again I get someone who looks at me weird for disliking Blur so much. So I have glasses. I know, this is shocking information. But when I don't have my glasses on, everything is blurry to me. And so there's sort of an automatic instinct to try and refocus my eyes. It's something that's completely subconscious. I don't do it on purpose. So my eyes are constantly trying to refocus, which means the longer I spend with my glasses off, the more it gives me strain, because those muscles are constantly trying to pull it into focus. And it's a little thing, but it builds up over time, right? I imagine most of you actually know what I'm talking about to some extent or another. So, when I see a game that's blurry, it tends to bother me because, you know, I look at that and my brain says blur, and it tries to refocus on it, and it doesn't work. Now, there's a gradient here, obviously, but, like, really, really blurry games will cause me substantial issues. Can we up the graphics of this? Because, honestly, I wouldn't mind. Let's try some basic upscaling. Let's see what happens here. I haven't really done this with the PS2. So, let's see. Yeah. That's interesting, but not what I wanted. I'm blind. Where's upscaling options? Ugh! Well, I mean, we could do that, but that's just sharpening. That's a little bit better, though. Yeah, I like the stuff going on in the background, because the whole planet's under attack, right? I think. I don't know, I think there's a story here somewhere. I'm not actually sure. I think I found it. So let's just try this. Oh my god! Whoa. That is so much better. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that. Wow. Yeah, sorry, HD what? Okay, so we can go to Iridia or Kerwin. Let's just do Iridia because it's the next on the list. Wait, hang on. We are missing 2 golden boats here. Bolts. Yeah, you've activated "this is what I saw when I was a kid" mode. I've only really been hit by that once in my entire life. Can you guess the game? Yeah, plus to emulation. I wish I could give those positives, trust me. Emulation is a good thing. I'm sorry, it is. Nice place. A little more war-torn. Yeah, nice little establishing shot. At least this game is just weird. Nice music shift down. Of course, it's nighttime. Different tone, different vibe. What you got? What you got?
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Aw, nothing new. Damn. Okay, whatever. That is literally a better skybox than Starfield, and that is not a joke. Once again, this game is better than a modern game. Metroid Prime 1. When the Metroid Prime 1 remaster came out, I sat down to play it, and was like, wow, they didn't change much, did they? Then I went back, just for the hell of it, and fired up the original. They changed a lot. Starfield is holding up the floor in hell. Whoa! I am unabashedly glad that you like Starfield Primarch. Please forgive me for bashing it constantly. Because it is the second worst game I've ever reviewed. So far I'm enjoying the game more than I thought I would. Like, when I first thought I had 4 health, my first reaction was like an internal groan, but so far it hasn't been a huge issue. And we've already gotten rid of the blur, which is pretty much the only complaint I had. I mean, I actually know several people who like to just vibe in Starfield, just roam and build stuff on planets, set up trade routes. You know, the Fallout 4 thing. I did that in Fallout 4 too, it's worth noting, so I kind of get it. Yeah, I noticed this is a bit more of a platformer than a combatter, which makes sense because this is Spyro. Speaking of someone who's reviewed the 3 Spyro games, the 3 initial Spyro games at this point, granted, the remaster, this is Spyro. Like, it's got Spyro DNA everywhere. Even the kind of loose, fluidy, tons of control in midair thing is very Spyro. The only thing that's different is in Spyro you can move at about 1,000,000 miles an hour once you got into it. And this one you seem to be a lot slower. That's like the big variance. Jack 2 is on the list as part of the Jack block. Like Jack 2 and, God, something else. There we go. I sure hope so, because that's where I have him, President Clam. Interesting, so it doesn't let me pick up a health if I don't need it. That's nice. Yeah, I've been noticing several as we go here, Darkrai. Luthor actually already mentioned one, too. It's a small thing, but there's a little bit of that. Did you see that right there? Let me try to emulate that again. Oh, God. Magnetizing. That's not the word. There's a bit of grabbing? No. It's how... there's a bit of an aim assist when it comes to... Homing. Thank you. There's a bit of an aim assist in homing when it comes to meleeing. Which is funny, because another game I could mention that has the exact same feature is Kingdom Hearts 1. It's the only way I could do some of the harder fights in that game back in the day was because I knew that if I was aiming at least roughly in the direction of an enemy, it would adhere to them. Just shukunk. Does anyone do me a favor and check what the jack block includes, please? Yeah, I'm liking the sound design more than I thought I would, too. I wasn't sold on the music at first, admittedly. We were at Lombax Evo. What's a Lombax? That's what Evo's real life voice sounds like. I have no idea. Thank you. Jack 2, Jack 3, and Jack X. I knew there were 3, but I couldn't remember what the third one was. Yeah, we teach people about how over-harvesting trees is bad. That's true, off the deep end. I forgot about that, but you're right. Is that it? Did I make it? Yes, I did. I love how there's just ships in the background. Okay, so I don't want to speak negatively about this game, because I'm actually liking it more than I thought I would so far. But, you know another way this reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 1? There's this weird disconnect between what's happening and what you see and what you're doing. Actually, it added an entire category for it. I called it visual continuity. You probably know what I'm talking about. There are certain cutscenes and certain events in Kingdom Hearts 1 where you're just kind of having trouble understanding what's going on because it is so weirdly presented. Like, there's underemphasize, and then there's, oh, by the way, I don't know how better to explain that. We'll talk about that when we get to Kingdom Hearts 1 in a couple weeks here. But I'm getting the same vibe from this, which makes sense given the, the story. Yeah, like, probably the worst example of this is Tarzan's level, if you remember Tarzan's level. Yeah, exactly, Primark. Like, the gameplay is just so completely disconnected that you're like, da-da-da-da-da, and then a cutscene plays with no music, and then you're like, what? You see, I want to help them, because they're my friend. What? Well, Ludonarrative Dissonance is just gameplay and story segregation. This is kind of separate from that. So I think we'll put this under story sequencing, which we've already jotted down as a potential. Quite possibly, Primark. I don't know. They're just there. And... Oh. Visual continuity. Listen, if there's one thing I want out of a a Ratchet and Clank game, it's ridiculousness. Yeah, that's the exact scene I was just thinking about Heartbuild 1. God, that scene is just so weird. I don't know. The platforming Kingdom Hearts 1. I don't know how well Kingdom Hearts 1's going to score, by the way. There's a non-zero chance that it will not score super well. And I'm going to have an entire army of Kingdom Hearts fans driving right up to my face to beat it in. Starting with Rax over there. Like, every time... this is going to sound weird. Every time I talk about favorite Kingdom Hearts games, it weirds me out how many people list 1 as their favorite. Like... what? I didn't like Kingdom Hearts 1 when it was new. Well, I mean, I liked it, but, like, I could recognize how frustrating and irritating a game it was when it was new. Never mind now. It does do certain things very, very well. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the version we're playing will not have, I can't think of his name. The guy the original voice actor for Ansem, the Secret of Darkness. God, I can't think of his name. Someone help me, please. The villain from Titanic. Billy Zane. Oh, so we're still gonna have Billy Zane? Nice. I'm actually happy about that. I'm sorry, I like, I can't think of anyone's names today. Gaius. Plenty. He's a good actor, and he does good stuff, especially when he's directed well. Richard Epcar, thank you. But Billy Zane kind of nailed Ansem, and I kind of wish they'd been able to keep him on board for that. He had just the right amount of sincerity with his am, so he sounded really, like, properly Type 1 villainous, right? Just straight up, and then I will use darkness! You know, and he just threw himself into the role. It was awesome. Ironically, Richard Epcar is a little bit more toned down for the most part. What's the name of the level I'm on? Select. Iridia. Yeah, one of his battle quotes is quite literally a maniacal laugh.
No signal whatsoever. This downtime is killing me.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Don't be so literal, son. The problem is I'm stranded on this backwater planet and my star client is nowhere to be found.
Hey, we saw you on that info bot. You're Skid's agent.
Was Skid's agent. Haven't seen him since our ship crashed. And an agent without a client is like a flea without a dog.
Oh, so you admit you're a bloodsucker.
Like an athletic kid. If you can bring back the championship prize from the hoverboard races in Blackwater City, I'll make you my next star.
We have no time for trivial matters, sir.
I could be the next Skid McMarks.
Yeah, by the way, the guy's name is Skid McMarks. I'm not going to explain that joke. So I'm just going to let it sit there. No, not explaining the joke. It's poop humor. If that's the hint I'm gonna give you. Yeah, I want to give like a general level positive maybe. Hang on. Let me jot this down. Whoops. Question mark. Okay. Use my swing shot is a thing.
It's him, Skid McMarks.
That man from the infobot.
In the flesh, little dude. You guys get a load of that epic space battle I was in?
We saw you, screaming for help.
That was like a war cry. My agent and I got ambushed on the way to hoverboard practice.
Did he survive the crash, sir?
He's okay, but I've had a little trouble getting back to my ship due to my sprained ankle.
Oh, come on.
If you can take out all the sand sharks, I just might have a spare hoverboard for you.
We'd love to help you, Mr. McMarks, but Ratchet and I need to find Captain...
One of your boards? I've always wanted a decent hoverboard. Well, all right. You just keep that foot elevated.
But it makes sense. This guy's right here, and the other guy's like at the end of the level. Yeah, no bad marks there or whatever. Listen, how can you have a capital without capitalism? Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, Dakota. And not just because of the fact that we're upscaling. Although we are upscaling. So I actually had a theory about the bolts thing during the rumination. It's one of the only bits of the rumination I actually remember. This is... so... boring, long answer incoming. Yeah, you're watching me. You know what you're in for. The idea that I always got is that a lot of fiction starts with a basic concept, idea, theme, premise, etc. And then it just runs from there. You know, Western in space, or... or battle mechs, or cybernetics, or whatever. You know, you start with your premise, and everything else just kind of ends up revolving and rotating around that, right? That's not a judgmental statement, that's a good thing. Yeah, ninjas with guns. Cool. Done. Whatever the hell Syndicate was doing. I don't know what to call that, but whatever the hell Syndicate was doing. So, what you do is you sit and you think about your one premise, and then you go ahead and you, like, work from that. Oh, I see what you mean by the bombs. And in this one, the premise, near as I can tell, seems to be robots. There's robots absolutely everywhere. And obviously there's weird and wacky aliens too, but, like, come on. And given how widespread and near universal the robots seemed to be, it makes a degree of sense to me that the bolts themselves are standardized, which then makes sense for them to become a currency. I'm actually filled up on those. It's the same reason why energy tends to be a currency in a lot of other settings. Yeah, exactly. No one even cares. No one thinks for even a millisecond of that Clank is a robot. He's just a person. It's like, hey, what's up? Take all those. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even looking for him. I was bloodthirsty. The thirst. The lust took me. Hunger for vengeance. I do have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of the quick select. It's probably the only gameplay thing I'm just raising my eyebrow at so far. Still don't know what these are for, but woo! You want to know one of mine's, mine, Rex? Final Fantasy 12. Looks like it does actually work, Wolverine. But the timing on it is weird, because it's like... Well, I mean, it's something I've talked about a bajillion trillion times. Every era, every console generation, up to the PS3, really, the early stuff just looks so much worse than the later stuff. Early NES versus late NES, early SNES versus late SNES, early PS1 versus late PS1, early PS2 versus late PS2. This is something it's racing in my memory because I was just talking about Silent Hill 2 recently, which looks surprisingly good for being a 2001 game.
Here, man. Catch.
A brand new Z3000. You can't even buy these.
Well, I got a bail. Catch you dudes at the hoverboard races.
You've just acquired a Gadgetron Z3000 hoverboard. Use your new hoverboard at the racetrack in Blackwater City on Planet Rilgar.
Actually, yeah, Jack and Daxter's not a good example. Hoverboard races, those are always good things, right? We won't have hours of frustration, right? Yeah, no, FF4 and FF6 is honestly my go-to example. Not just because I love both games, but honestly, FF4 is literally, and I've done sprite work for that game, so I can tell you this literally, is literally one step away from being an NES game. It actually started development on the NES. It has a couple more colors it can show at the same time and uses slightly different effects, but if you put FF4 up against late NES games, there's not that big of a difference. Contrast FF6, which looks amazing to this very day, which absolutely just destroys what the SNES could do at the time. Damn it, freaking shortcuts. Honestly, Chrono Trigger qualifies for pretty much the exact same reason at the exact same time. And yeah, FF7 to FF9 is just wow. Honestly, even just Mega Man 1 to Mega Man 6 is a huge jump. You get it. But like I said, the PS3 era kind of ended that. It's not so much that graphics peaked, because we're still finding new ways to show cool stuff. But at the same time, graphics kind of peaked a little bit. Yeah, if you don't mind, Primark. Like, if I'm obviously going to miss something that I could get right now, yeah, might as well tell me. Okay, so... I do like the shortcuts in general. And yeah, I agree with the shortcutting possibly being multiple puzzles. Does that actually map where I've been? Oh my god, it does. Oh my god, is that good map design in 2002? What the crap? Okay, okay. Wow. Yeah, insert Starfield insult here. That is, no, but for real, that's actually a better map. I mean, it is. It's kind of a fog of war thing. Like, so the yellow is where we've been. We've got icons showing, you know, what we can interact in and what we've done. Question marks for whatever. Yeah, talk to agent after winning race. So we even see the quest marker right there. And obviously, that's gray, so we haven't been there. That's... Yeah, you can literally see the corners we didn't poke in. That's surprisingly a good map. By the way, if you don't remember why I'm amused by this, for those of you who didn't watch it, I was impressed by Silent Hill 2's map as well. The Originals from 2001, which was a weirdly good map for a game from 2001. We should figure out when good map design started being a thing in games, because most older games don't have maps at all, right? Or if they do, they have like a really, really basic thing, like here's the overworld, and that's it. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? Super Metroid did have a map, and it's better than terrible. It's not great. It's worse than this map, for example. LTTTP did have a map, that's true. Its map was, once again, not terrible. I've seen worse.
You will need a Gadgetron swing shot to traverse this area. Our records indicate that the swing shot is not available on this planet.
The LTTP's map was good for general directions, and that's about it. Super Metroids at least had some honest-to-God-goodness map design, even if the map itself was extremely basic. Yeah, I remember that now. I remember this. The good news is that this level is tiny. And I know that sounds like a strange thing to praise, but I mean that with total sincerity. Like, that's the other end of the level right over there. I can literally see the other end of the level. I can see the entire area from here. So yeah, the run back is non-existent. It's just boop. Okay, so over to Metropolis. Hang on. Yep, 1 of 4. And 1 of 3. Sorry, I was just double checking. Onwards. This is good so far. I'm weirded out. I didn't watch the movie tie-in for the movie game for years. My niece... See you around, Devo. Get some good rest. My niece wanted to watch it. And so I was like, okay, sure, let's go ahead and watch it. So I watched it with her. It was inoffensive, I think is the way I want to describe that. It reminds me of the Mario movie. And I always get some weird looks when I bash the Mario movie, but the Mario movie is inoffensive. Yeah, exactly. It's a very generic, this is an animated film. And I feel the same way about the Ratchet and Clank film. It's fine. I'm never going to watch it again. Yeah, exactly. It was a standard animated movie that happened to include a video game character. Sorry, yeah, let's grab that shot there. Speaking of which, brickwork. Yeah, it's Sonic 1. Speaking of which, Sonic 2 is actually good. I'll give credit to that. Haven't seen Sonic 3 yet. I've heard good things about it. What is the tone there? There's actually a term for that. It's when, like, weird, zany clockwork is the tone of the music. You know what I'm talking about? It's the kind of thing you'd hear, like, for something Doc Brown would make in Back to the Future. Like, and then it goes this, and there's, like, this weird, what do you call that? Rube Goldberg or whatever device. Just you can just feel it, right? It's no, you're all saying genres. No, there's actually there's a tone to it. I'm trying to remember because there's a tone to it. I have heard this described as Art Deco. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Question mark by that. Okay, so Novalis, yes. Breakbeat. What was the planet? Which is Iridia. And this planet is Kerwin. This is a 2002 game. It's a little upscaled to save my eyes. It was starting, just starting to give me a headache. I feel like this might be a sprite work game too. Some question marks by that. Yeah, it's funny how much green there is on this planet. And some of it looks intentional and some of it does not. Alright, what we got? The blaster. Well, I was told to buy everything, and buy everything I shall. We can cheat if we have to. The blaster. Okay, so what's the blaster? Yeah, this level, I mean, the amount of that's actually 3D generated and 3D rendered, excuse me, like the amount of that's actually an object instead of a skybox is pretty impressive. Check that out. Look at that. Like, even that bridge in the distance is actually there. And obviously the cars going by are... If she did, she's probably being a dick, Zactev. Yeah, it's not Coruscant. What are you talking about? I don't know, RJ. That's a good question, though. So let's see...
Welcome to the Captain Quark Fitness Course. If you're strong enough, fast enough, and clever enough to beat my fitness challenge, you will receive a reward from my head trainer. Simply make your way to the third island to complete the course. Good luck! Quark Enterprises is not responsible for sprains, broken bones, snapped tendons, bruised egos, or accidental death incurred while taking the challenge.
Excuse me, Captain, but we have more pressing issues. We urgently need your assistance.
Clank?
Yes?
Do you notice anything unusual about Captain Quark?
Well, I find the fact that he has a spring where his leg should be to be quite puzzling.
And why do you think that is?
Possibly an injury incurred while battling evil?
This isn't the real Captain Quark, you numbskull. It's a robot.
Oh.
But... he's... okay. And yeah, there's probably some very serious culling going on. Or Clank. Anyways, we'll put the what we should keep track of how, like, it's like a meter, right? How much do we want to smack Ratchet? We're probably only up to like a smack 1 level. You know, it's like, but he's not quite the most punchable character for the LGAs for 2025 yet. Although, I'm probably going to nominate him. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, what happens? Hang on. Oh, okay. I mean, that's a good question, Trax, yeah. Or I guess a good statement, sorry. That's not a question. That's a terrible question! It's a good statement, though. Oh, I should totally watch Boundary Break on this. Ah! Yeah, the checkpointing so far has been pretty solid. Why, yes, I have played Mario 64. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it, Rex. No tutorial message that I saw, which is weird. Because, yeah, like, obviously I know what I'm doing. I've played video games before. Hell, I've played Ninja Gaiden. There we go. Let's just go back to that. I know Giant Grant Games has played Tempest Rising. He finds it good but flawed, which is honestly about what we could expect there, and also puts it way ahead of Stormgate. I might quietly pick Tempest Rising up a little bit on the dealer's choice. If I ever get to actually do dealer's choice, we might get there, guys. We might get caught up in the queue, and then I might have to move. But then we might get caught up in the queue again, and then something else will happen. I'm never getting caught up. It's never happening. It's never happening. I've just accepted this at this point in my life. There's no queue catch-up. Was interesting. Okay. That would be extremely funny, Primarch, but as I've said a few times, if I won the lottery, I'd probably keep streaming and just not change anything. I mean, I guess that is how most people's backlog works, right? It just keeps growing faster than it's shrinking. Ironically, we've been catching up on the queue for a long time. Not yet, Blitzball.
These moving walls also function as jump slots.
Oh, hey!
Jump
Here's the wall kick tutorial. Now that you've already gotten this high up. That's funny. Oh, if I won the lottery? Well, ironically, the problem there is that wouldn't help anything. I've actually... God damn it. I've actually put a lot of thought into that. Because obviously I don't want to rip money out of your guys' hands. But I can't stop accepting money, because then you'll know I won the lottery. And that's legitimately dangerous. What I could do is I could be like, oh, guys, I gotta move. Sorry, man. I'm not gonna leave the country. And just go off the map, you know? And then be like, all right, oh, guys, listen, I'm back. I'm no longer in the United States. You know, a little bit of extra security. Then I can be like, all right, so hey. Well, the Germany thing, no. I'd rather not move to Germany. No offense to Germany. But the Germany thing was an act of desperation. Not a place I actually want to live in. Oh, okay. If I did win the lottery, it would involve a very serious discussion between me, my sister, my brother-in-law, and it would not be a one and done discussion. It would be an ongoing and dynamic conversation about where do we want to end up, because the idea would be that the next move would be the one where we put down roots. I know what you're thinking. Why not the next move? Well, let's say we move to, I don't know, the UK, for example. And we're in the UK, and we live there for a couple of years, and we decide we don't actually like it. So we didn't actually put in roots, we were just moving there to try it out for a while. Stuff like that. I thought about Japan, but none of us speak Japanese. I don't know, Canada's like 1 step. We need more like 3 steps. So I don't speak French. Okay. Actually, Japan is on the long list of places to check out in a hypothetical. Yeah, I'm happy about what happened with the Canadian election. Don't mistake me. Are you okay, ma'am? But the next several years is going to really show how well that goes. Because the prevailing thing I've heard from several Canadians is that they're worried that, okay, we managed to hold back the flood once. Now we've got to actually stick the landing, because nobody has any real faith that the Liberal Party is going to actually do anything. And if they don't do anything, they'll be much less popular, which means guess who's going to win the next election? And you get the idea. Yeah, why does a robot... you know what? I don't care.
Listen up, you loudballs! That was the most pathetic display I have ever seen on that obstacle course!
What do you mean?
We finished the circuit, ma'am.
Oh yeah, but it is weak. When I was competing, I would devour courses like that for breakfast.
Bet that's not all.
If it were up to me, you would drill for the rest of the day. But somehow you managed to impress that fool Captain Quark.
Captain Quark knows about us?
He certainly does.
And worst of all, he wants me to give you a prize for that ridiculous performance.
Cool, what is it?
I'm supposed to give you a swing shot, so you can sway to and fro like little insects.
All right, let's see it.
Not so fast. Today, the two of you disgraced my obstacle course, so I am going to make you pay.
But that prize is ours from the captain. That's not fair.
Too bad, life's not fair.
Yeah, I'd hit it. What?
Sweet. I bet Captain Quark uses stuff like this all the time.
Ha! Real men can swing without silly toys like that. The two of you make me sick.
Congratulations on your new Gadgetron Swing Shot. Use it on standard Versa targets like the ones nearby. If the target is out of view, use the L1 button to aim.
Oh god, it's reversed. Oh god, please tell me there's a way to fix that. Oh, it's reversed. Yeah, you remember when, I think it was Trudeau actually swore as one of his election promises that he would move past first past the post voting method in Canada, which didn't happen. Someone got to try that blaster. Five seconds later, giant death mecha approaches. Oh no, we're done. Alright, other way then. Yeah, I noticed that too, Primark. Where do we keep all
the... center the camera, just tap the L1 button.
Okay. I already like it. Instantly. Instantly. Yeah, that's the other thing I've gotten a vibe from. Although, granted, again, I've only played 2 Ratchet and Clank games. This one in its own remake. Capitalism. Like, again, I don't know if that's true in the future games, but there's a really big vibe in the first game, both of them, of capitalism. Now, we'll get to the others someday. I have reasonable faith the other Ratchet and Clank games will get funded. They're relatively short, and they're pretty well beloved. So, we'll get there. Die, monsters. Or robots, or I don't know what you are. Oh, great. Now, sorry. Now Cora's gonna clobber him. Right. No strafing. No strafing. I have to get used to that. Oh god, the camera's stuck. Oh god, the camera's stuck. Ah, okay, we're free. We're free. Yeah, I know. One of the only things that I've seen in like interviews and comments about this game that people actually agree is bad, it's not Ratchet. No. He's super awesome because he's better than the remake of Ratchet. No. It's the lack of strafing. Yeah, lock strafing. Now, I legitimately don't remember. Did Kingdom Hearts 2 have proper lock strafing? Because we talked about that when it came to why I dislike lock-on in games. And Kingdom Hearts, in general, does lock-on strafing better. Right? Like, so we were talking about that in Armored Core, if you remember. Because I generally don't like lock-on in games.
That's the man we saw on the infobot. Remember? He knows Captain Quark.
Hey, you're that robot guy, right?
No, actually, I build robots. I myself am not a robot guy, per se.
Well, I hate him.
I like him.
So, now that we've cleared that up, what can I do for you?
Well, we saw your infobot announcement. You were with Captain Quark. We're trying to find Captain Quark. We thought you could help us.
Your logic is commendable. However, I haven't seen Captain Quark since we shot that commercial. Say, do you run on standard XP18 sister boards?
Version 7.66.
Back at ya. I may be able to help you out after all. How does a helipack upgrade sound?
Upgrade?
Natch. Since he's a 766, I could have the little guy up and flying in no time. Of course, I'll just need my fee for service.
Is it an unlock in the first game? Whatever. Boop.
Okay, this won't hurt a bit.
Hey, wait. Ratchet, am I cool now?
Yeah, you the man, Clank.
You're welcome.
So this is like elongated jump, right?
Try using the Helipack's boost jump feature to climb these boxes.
Or not.
Press the R1
Okay.
button to crouch, then jump. You'll need your new Helipack stretch jump feature to cross this gap. While you're running...
Oh god, it's literally long jump. It's literally long jump. From Mario 64. Like, it's even the same button inputs.
Boost jump feature to climb these boxes. Press the R1 button to crouch, then jump. You'll need your new Helipack stretch jump feature to cross this gap. While you're running, crouch using the R1 button and then jump.
Yeah, I've seen this a lot because I've seen speedruns of this game, and yeah, they pretty much just do this everywhere.
Try using the glide feature of your new Helipack. Jump, and then press and hold the X button in midair to glide.
And of course, this is how you clip out of bounds. Obs. Interesting, Rex. Hang on, we're gonna pause the game. Did you know that if you press the jump button, the jumping animation might play? It's not a guarantee, though, because this game was programmed on biscuits, but it might happen. So far, I've actually really enjoyed the tutorialization. Not the helper bot, actually. She's whatever. Just the level design tutorialization. More bolts. More bolts. And yeah, you can also disable her. I'm going to leave it on just to see what she has to say, but yeah. On a normal playthrough, I'd probably just disable her and just go with it. See if the game itself tutorializes whatever I need to know. Yeah, ironically, I don't think... I keep saying that wrong. Amusingly, I don't actually think this game would get a first game positive. Or positive. Wake up, Laura. A first game point. Because it's not. I mean, obviously it doesn't feel like one at all, but again, Spyro, right? Spyro 1, that's a first game. Remember, the first game concept has to do with the first time a dev team either tries something new or is the very first entry in trying something, which is, again, just trying something new. Dragon Age Inquisition is a first game. To use another example of that. Those. Never, Primarch! Sorry, what? Maybe over there? Oh, whatever. Let's just jump down, see what there is here. That sounds terrifying, Rax. I'm waiting. I'm ready. Obviously not now, but when we get there. Wow, that didn't work at all. I was gonna say, that doesn't look workable over there. I'm gonna try one more time, but my platforming senses are telling me I can't do that unless there's a bit of tech I don't know about. I could try that. Nope. Let's just try it. Okay, it's lower than I looked. Hello. Okay. That was extremely strange. So it's not a Yoshi flutter, which I think is what keeps throwing me. Alright, fine. Die. Everything died. Everything died. I mean, again, I've seen speedruns of this game, too. I try not to consider that as, you know, what the game allows. Oh, I just had to get close to it. I do find it interesting that the game hasn't actually explained what golden bolts are for yet. They're just there. It's just interesting. It's a strange choice. Walls are a suggestion in Earth. Everybody knows that. No, I noticed that, Primarch. In fact, I also noticed the bolts we were leaving behind. Stop running from me.
Greetings, Executive Chairman Drek.
Dispense with the pleasantries, Lieutenant. My sources tell me you're behind schedule. You must prepare this planet to be harvested for our new world.
Yes, sir. As you can see, everything is moving along as planned.
I'm counting on you, Lieutenant. And as your former commander can tell you, I don't take disappointment well.
Yes, sir. I won't fail.
Drek is destroying yet another planet.
Yeah, but if that's the kind of help he's getting, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
You should not underestimate Chairman Drek. He is quite dangerous. We must find Captain Quark.
Look, that lieutenant doesn't seem so tough. Let's take him out ourselves.
Perhaps we can persuade the lieutenant to tell us where Drek is.
Now you're talking.
You know, just realized the other reason I hate Ratchet. This Ratchet. He's got the Tood. Hate the Tood.
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Yeah, the shortcutting is really good. It was Blade Javal. Mid to late 90s was really the Tood era. I mean, maybe my timing on this is wrong. Because Sonic the Hedgehog's entire shtick was the Tood. Which is really funny when you think about it. Considering how vanilla he is compared to some of the later stuff. Be right back. Sure, Wolverine. Why not? Okay. You're lying to me, Wolverine. Why would you lie to me? Oh yeah, let's see how our download's going. That's kind of spaced. We're up to 35%. All right. No, it's all Sony. I mean, obviously I am streaming at the moment, but trust me when I say it, that's not getting in the way. I can watch WoW, stream WoW, and play WoW at the same time without any issues. I did that last night, by the way. So it's not like infrequent or whatever. Well, sure. We're back up here. That's the important part. It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut. What? Oh, there's the logging site, but no, we want to go back to Iridia first. Okay. No promises. Whoops. Okay. No, we've already failed. Okay, okay. That's just, I don't know how that's possible.
If you'd like, you can reverse your camera controls. Just select Camera from the Options menu.
Oh, what? That put me way back here. Holy crap. Okay. That's a weird checkpoint, but whatever. It's whatever. Set up my own checkpoint. Blackjack. No hookers, though. Like that.
Yes!
We got a thing.
Lasers are mounted on each ring of the Invinso lock. Aim the lasers at the receptors on the outside ring to turn them green. All receptors must be green before the Invinso lock will open.
Interesting. I do love hilarity. And commercials. Wait. Scratch that last part. Jackass with weapons. That sounds horrifying. This way? Oh, next room. I'm not sure yet, Act. We'll have to decide that. In fact, I'll probably directly compare it to Mario 64. See what we gave there. Is that it? Yeah, that appears to be it. So now we have the Trespasser. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's actually a pretty solid comparison point. Because Mario 64 did plenty of things wrong, too. Worse in every way. This is the most terrible and disgusting, vile, abominable 3D platformer I have ever played. Actually, that's an interesting question. What is the worst 3D platformer I've ever played? So far, yeah. Jak 1, I was not a fan of. And it didn't help that certain people in chat were fighting at me over that. So, like, bad game, and people were upset that I wasn't liking it. Eudora. Meanwhile...
Yes, quite lovely. That should just about do it. Commander, we are finished with this world. Commence towing our planet to its next destination. Lieutenant!
Yes, sir.
You have fulfilled your tree quota. Barely.
We are ready to return to base.
Not so fast, Lieutenant. Just because we don't need any more trees doesn't mean they should have them. Destroy everything.
Is Jak 2 the GTA one, or is that Jak 3? Okay. I've actually seen speedruns of 2. I had no idea what's going on, and it was in another language, but I have at least seen speedruns of it, and yeah, it's very GTA-y. Looked like a completely different franchise, is how I want to describe that. Like, going straight from Jak 1 to Jak 2 looks like just whiplash. This is Eudora, and I'm already liking the visuals. Yeah, just... we don't often see that level of tonal shift. Like, it's actually pretty common for a game to shift from its first entry to its second. In fact, it's normal. But for, like... between Jak 1 and 2... Can we think of anything else that has that big of a tonal shift? I was thinking something. Kit. I need to write down Kit. Not sure what I think of it exactly yet, but I'm going to write that down. And possibly Traversal. We'll jot that down as a question mark. Okay. Hello. Goodbye. What? Oh. Hang on. So these bots are the first ones I can pretty definitively say, yeah, these are direct bots. It's duh, really. I don't think I can make this. What? I definitely can't make that. Hey, Linkelda, one moment. You put this game on the list, Linkelda. Glove of Doom. Oh, I can't afford that. Yeah, no kidding. Like, that was an attempt at a double jump, and I don't know why it didn't go through. So let's try that again. Okay, and yeah, there's our long jump. Yeah, okay. So, crouching long jump. Oh, that... okay. Anyways, thank you for the sub. Speaking of Jak, I'll put that towards the Jak block. Scooch this over here. Which one is up your arsenal? Naruto, Storm, Legacy, Jak block, and 3. RNC 3 up your arsenal. Thank you. Yeah, it looks like I can't quite make that. I probably could if I knew what I was doing. I do not. The eternal substitute. Do they just attack anybody who comes nearby? I guess that would make sense. I accept my fate.
Hi there, Fuzzball. Oh, that's a nice one.
You're kidding. Okay, so you see nothing happening, but I'm hitting buttons to try and increase by an increment of greater than 1. Yeah, that's... Got it. It does speed up. That was the first thing I tried, Lord Haramon. The second thing I tried was hitting up, and the third thing I tried was hitting down. At some point I'll figure out that it's not a Yoshi drum. I should explain what I'm talking about, because someone's probably like, ah? So a Yoshi jump is specifically when a game allows you to jump, and then depending on how you hold the button, it'll allow you to then start fluttering pretty much at the peak of your height. So you jump and you start hovering way up there. In here, the delay is pretty big on allowing you to start pulling out the helicopter. So in other words, you lose a huge amount of height trying to do a flutter jump. In fact, let's do a save state really quick, just to kind of show off what I'm talking about. So in a Mario game, like, I could easily make this gap right here with a flutter jump. This gap right here, this would be easy. Just jump and hover. And yeah, you see what I mean. So, hang on. That's a little bit better. But we lose a tremendous amount of horizontal movement there. So doable. Oh, yep, okay, barely doable. Just barely. And even that was with a height advantage, too. I don't think I can make that jump, for example. Let's name a specific thing. So what do you think? Should I buy the 7500 thing when I get back to it? I don't remember what it's called. It costs 7500. That was it. Glove of Doom. Oh, I'm getting conflicting info now. 3 votes for no. 736 votes for yes. But we're first past the post system, so I'm afraid the no's have it. Grind boots. And we're dead. Something I meant to test. We should do it right now. Let's see what happens when we run out of ammo. Interesting. Some games will do a thing where they auto-swap. By the way, those enemies are an excellent example of why being able to strafe is a good thing. You have to aim at the enemy to shoot them. They're shooting right back at you. So in other words, the only way to shoot them is to be directly in their line of fire. Still can't decide what I think of this friggin' music. This funk or whatever it is. Yeah, breakbeat. I'm gonna stand by whatever this is. I agree, Lord Hermon. Negative to gameplay. God dang it. Silly me. And we're dead.
Why not try Gadgetron's Glove of Doom? This life-saving gadget lets you attack your enemies from a safe distance with tiny killer robots. Grab one now at a Gadgetron vendor.
Man, there's nothing I want more than ads inside my video games. No, really, I've played GTA. I mean, Vice City isn't exactly a particularly funny game, unless you listen to the ad channels, the joke channels. In which case, yeah. Oh God, the GTA 4 one. A lot of those ads ended up in the highlight reels just because they were so horrifying. Glove of Doom ammo. I don't have the... Okay. Thanks, game. Oh man, I can't wait to have more games where they have actual ads in the game. Have you noticed YouTube has rolled out another form of ads, by the way? If you pause the game for whatever reason, the game kind of goes over to the side, and then like an ad just pops up and sits there until you hit play again. Yes, Primark. Yeah, I've also noticed that YouTube is starting to load a lot slower on certain things, like, say, Firefox, where I have an ad blocker. And I don't know, this is conjecture, but I would say with high certainty that what's happening is it's like, okay, hang on, load the ads. Oh, I don't load the ads. Okay. Load the other ads. Okay, don't load that ad. Okay, and then it finally loads the actual page I'm on. Yeah, thanks, YouTube. You're still trash. Not the YouTube VOD watchers. You guys are awesome. VOD walkers unite. God. Is that random? What happens when you trigger the eye gates? Anyways, thank you for being part of the show, Act. Let's see if I can figure out the subtitles for these games. So let's see. We've got 2, which is Going Commando. 3, ugh. 3, which is Up Your Arsenal. 4, which is Deadlocked. Which I only know because you've already put a sub towards those today. Oh, so it's a seed thing. Okay. I mean, that'd be funny if it actually works to put it. Sounds like a good idea for a story. So our interstellar empire is slowly getting consumed by bigger, stronger neighbors, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we opened an interstellar gate to another galaxy. I mean, could it get worse? Alright, what do we get?
Sweet!
Gadgetron's suck cannon can vacuum up multiple enemies, then fire them out as high-caliber missiles. Caution, enemies must be small enough to fit inside the barrel.
Well, we've gone from blow to suck. Could be worse. This game could blow. Why? Why am I back here? Yeah, we made it across. Woo. music abruptly stops. Sorry, changes. I love the LOD. Look at that rock. Look at that rock. Look at that thing. This is PS2. It is, however, upscaled. Because I don't enjoy headaches. Do you enjoy headaches? Is something wrong with you? Sign up today for don'tbewronganymore.com, where you too can stop being wrong. I meant to check, what are we at? I think we're at 1080. Let me double check though. Nope, I'm wrong. This actually is 1440. I can go higher. But you can't even notice the difference there. How about... So this is native, by the way. This is what it looks like normally. 1080p would be right about here, which is actually pretty good. That's even better. That's barely different. So yeah, I think we're kind of capping at 1440. Yeah, sorry. I blame ACT for the fact that we're not going to finish this today. I'm just kidding. I actually blame frickin' Sony for that nonsense. God damn it. What the hell? Yep. For anyone who ever wanted me to stream a PS3 game, well, that's bloody tough. Yeah, no, for real, it is Sony's fault. Like, it's nice that the PS3, PSN exists at all, but as the old saying goes, bad is worse than none. See, you see, it's poop humor.
You sure showed him.
I suppose I did.
Is your current occupation leaving a rotten taste in your mouth? Then you need to know about BTS, Blog Tactical Research Station. Hi, I'm Supreme Executive Chairman Drek, and we here at BTS are
Does this title keep getting longer?
Individuals to fill positions in these exciting careers. Grind boot tester, warhead assembly technician, mutant animal husbandry, robot repairman, suck cannon test dummy, and administrative assistant. So call BTS. Build our weapons while you build your future.
I'm calling BTS today.
Now we're talking. Did you see all the cool gadgets they're making? Let's go get some.
No, we must continue our search for Captain Quark.
You're absolutely right.
I am?
Sure. We need to find Quark. Although when we find him, wouldn't it be nice to be able to tell him where Chairman Drek is?
I suppose.
Well, we go to the space station and talk to the scientists. They work for Drek, so they're bound to know where he is.
I am unsure about your logic.
Ah, you think too much. Come on, let's go.
Something you can never accuse Ratchet of in this game. Maybe, J. Palmer. See, the difference is... what, on Steam? Confusion? Or do you mean just the concept? And either way, yes. Yeah, who'd ever thought of a corporate villain? No, Trihexia. I only run into ads on my phone. My ad blocker's been working just fine. Yeah, Ratchet would definitely get along with Liam. Right, so I was told to hold on to it. I think we're done here for the moment. Yeah, so... I don't know, Hourglass. But I do know that Wolverale just donated. Thank you, Wolverale. Always appreciate. Very much. Thank you. Give me a moment, and I will see what you put that towards. Yeah, well, I basically should be taking my break now. In fact, I meant to order lunch and got stuck playing a video game. Ugh. Okay, for real. How many of you have ever done that? I need to eat. So what's up with the PS3? So the short answer is go watch the beginning of the VOD. The long answer is at the beginning of the VOD. Hang on, so Wolverale is putting that towards... But no, I'm walking away from PS3 games, except for games that are already on the list, because I already have... Any PS3 game already on the list is something I've already gone through the hassle of getting, like the games that are currently downloading. Speaking of which, where are we up to? Hang on. Let's see. 44%. All right. Okay, so we'll just... Yeah. Will that finish today? Okay, so Terraria. RNC2, going commando. And RNC3, up your arsenal. We need more guns. And definitely not a childish joke. Why would you do that, Shape Bomber? What is wrong with you? I mean, like... Actually, I guess this is kind of a good time to do this. Well, the good news is I think I've already bought all of those Pillars of Snow. But buying anything on the PS3 is the issue. So, like, if you're like, I want to add this PS2 game that's on the PS3 PSN, I'm going to say, no. How do I save? There we go. Get a hard save in. Actually, no. Get a hard save here. And then get a hard save here. Yeah, the part of the reason we're only on whatever stage this is because it took me the better part of an hour and 7 minutes. That's not an exaggeration or a joke. To successfully buy the PS3 Ratchet and Clank games. And that was a huge hassle and a huge pain. And not the first or second or third time I've had to deal with the nonsense that is getting a game on the PS3. It's actually why I have so many of those other games on the PS3 already. I'm also starting to run out of hard drive space, which is going to be an increasing problem going forwards. So, we're locked off, and that's it. Which ones do I own? I have no idea. Deadlocked is apparently a PS2 game. Hang on. On this right here, I've got Ratchet and Clank 1, Going Commando, and Up Arsenal. So that's those three covered right there. I have Deadlocked. I have... there's the three I just bought, which are up there. I don't know what those are. I have the movie game. I actually have a physical copy of that. And I have Rift Apart on the PC. And I believe that's all the ones I have right now. I think that's the list. If I'm missing anything, then I'm missing it at that point. I suppose I'll get lunch. I'll see you in a bit, guys.